He kōna I purangi tēnei nā te reo irirangi o Aotearoa.
I've just left a little while ago, Palmerston North, come out, get that phone call from Karen at Taumaranui Canoe Hire saying that Sean McCarthy had found my GoPro. Then Sean brings it to me from fielding, just astounding. I'm gobsmacked by that. And then I look up and there's a goddess on a beautiful horse sitting on the road at this intersection asking if I'm lost, if I'm okay, because Brenna has been following the podcasts, and oh man, it's just so glorious. And her mentioning that one of the moments for her was my granddaughter Gracie having the little chat to me in the car that time on one of the podcasts. Honestly, it's kind of overwhelming. Wow, this is a day that I've been anticipating for quite some time. Walking along the road here, it's a couple of K, I'll get to a turn off and then I head into the Tararuas. Woo! And the weather's going to be pretty good for the next 2 days, and then the third day, so when I'm coming down out of the tops, apparently John was saying, that's when it'll start cracking up, which is kind of okay. I'll probably get drenched, but I'll be out of those exposed tops where it's not even so much the rain or potential snow even at this time of year, but more the wind. Oh, just a quick message to Te Araroa walkers. I heard a couple of stories from John and Sally about some of the rude buggers who, just because they're in the notes as being open and welcoming to Te Araroa walkers, doesn't make you take them for granted. English woman who turned up at the door, I didn't receive my beer when I arrived. It's no guarantee you're going to get a beer, but if they have time and resources, because they're incredibly busy people, then they might offer you one. And young punk who asked if you could take a couple of tablespoons of peanut butter, because that's what he was subsisting on a lot. A lot of TA walkers, peanut butter is a staple of their diet. And then he proceeded, when Sally came in and saw the full brand new big tub of peanut butter, it was basically 3/4 empty. Just arrogant and selfish. So if you're a TA walker, man, you're displaying qualities that kind of go against what you're doing. You know, you bloody hell, pull your head in. So I'm sitting here at pretty much the start of my journey into the Tararuas, and I get approached by a guy, hops out of a car, the big information board here. David is his name, and he's part of the search and rescue. But what's the major, what are you doing? You're doing a survey, aren't you?
Yep, it's a survey that DOC and Landsar are doing. And it's largely looking at the kind of issues that people might be most concerned about when they're tramping. The changeable New Zealand weather, the terrain, the lack of experience. And we just asked the people we talked to to rate each of those concerns.
Yep. And are you surprised at some of the findings that you might...
Well, as I said, you're my first one.
Now, you're obviously a tramper, I'd say.
I am.
Yeah.
Yes. I've done this piece of trail that you're doing.
Right.
I took a couple of old friends over it 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah. And it's a great walk.
Oh, it's really fantastic.
Am I going to be absolutely knackered?
Yes, pretty much.
David. Oh, such a mix of feelings. It's because I'm, as you can tell by my breath, I've just emerged from the forest once again into the tussock, subalpine kind of gig. Mount Crawford that I climb tomorrow is looming over just slightly to the west of me, southwest. I look at the ridgeline, the sawtooth ridgeline that I have climbed today. It's unbelievable. You look at that and go, oh, what? I've done that. It's just quite stunning. Damn. I'll take some pics, but truly you couldn't do it justice. This forest is magical. The layers of moss and lichen and the gnarly trunks and branches. The forest floor. Boy, stunning. And I'm up on the peaks. And I had no idea how vast these Tararuas were. I assume there's a range over there that's really well and truly above the bush line. I imagine that drops off to the east coast. All the various valleys and spurs, and wow, you can see how people get lost if they don't stick to a planned route, or man. And it's done what it's done every day. It's still cloudy and windy, as you can probably hear, but the vista has opened up. The mist has lifted. The wind is meant to pick up tomorrow, so I'm going to try and make a dash for it. Today's going to be 9 hours, just over 9 hours probably, with about a half-hour break in there, 40-minute break at Dracophyllum Hut. Tomorrow will be a 10-hour day with a massive descent off Mount Crawford, really steep. I think it's made a few people freaked out. Had some really good descents today and ascents as well. Little vertical drops where you know one false move and they probably, once they do find you, they're probably picking you up in the dead version of yourself if they find you. I'm standing outside Nicholas' hut. It's suddenly gone calm, but this is how it's been. It's gusts of wind will come through, then it'll go calm like this. You'll hear on the roof as if it's raining, but it's the mist. I can see a little lightning of the mist up there on the saddle between Mount Crawford and where I came from yesterday. So I'm going to go. I'm going to hit this. I want to get to. I want to finish it today. In fact, it's going to be a big day. So I'll head up to Mount Crawford. I've got about a 300-meter climb, and then I've got a 1,250-meter or so descent. But of course, once I get down, it's a very steep descent, apparently really tricky, and one that you just have to stay totally cautious with. But once I get down into the bush line, then it'll be no doubt muddy and everything, but at least you'll have the protection of the bush and the forest. So got a bit of work ahead of me, but today should signal the end of the North Island for me. It's very palpable, but I do feel that this is very doable. I'll let you know how it goes. I'm going to leave the hut to the little mouse that was running over my bloody sleeping bag last night. Hey, be a little bit more considerate next time. Feeling pretty buzzed right now. Got a bleeding knee. Took a tumble as I reached the peak of what's called Gable End in the Tararuas. But I'm feeling pretty buzzed because I am up in the Tararuas. Some of the views, I'm looking across it, the other ridge lines, and I'm going to realise I am here. I'm doing this damn thing. Oh man. Grandparents raising grandchildren. If this is what it takes to help raise the awareness of your organisation, raise some money, if this is what it takes to leave a legacy for my grandchildren, Charlie, Gracie, Freddie, for my children, Tom, Joe and Francesca, to carry my father and brothers, I'm just at a bog at the moment, carry my father and brother's ashes home to Stewart Island, and this is what it takes. And my goodness, it's a little slice of magnificence looking out over the various ridge lines, the clouds at the same height as me. Really having to slog it. There's lots of bog up here, and it's been a real slog up. And this peak is only about half what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. Mount Crawford. So it's just, yeah, it's one of those moments you get a bit of a scale perspective. You go, whoa, whoa. Only way I could be experiencing this and by putting in the effort that I've just done. Phew. Man, better get on with it. I got it's coming up 3:30. I've still got a few hours ahead of me. Get to the hut, Te Matawai hut. Looking forward to that.
Anderson hut I just come from last night, and I've just done the Tararuas Peaks, doing a circuit, going back to Otaki Forks tonight.
So what's your impression of the Tararuas?
Well, I think I probably underestimated it actually. The sort of the weather's been a bit challenging, and I have to say I've been physically challenged, and it's been bloody tough, but really satisfying to have done it.
Man, that's a nice, yeah, that's a bit of pretty much the summation of what I've had, and because it's you know, having taken the tumble I took, I think that's the closest. I feel like that's the closest to death I've come. It was, I had no idea while I was falling what was going on, and then it stopped, and I'm emotionally, physically, I'm just drained right now, and let alone with the walk that's been going. But you hear about the Tararuas, eh? And but you are a hiker?
Yeah, I do a bit of hiking, bit of hunting, bit of fishing. But I've never been to the Tararuas, so now I can tick this one off.
That's part of it, eh? Ticking these things off.
It is, yeah. Very satisfying.
So what have you ticked off alongside the Tararuas now?
Oh, I've been to most parts of New Zealand, not all of them in depth, but I've had a good look around over the years. And with my advancing years, there's probably, you know, the window's getting shorter and shorter, so make the most of the opportunities.
I got to say, every time I meet a hunter now, having done, you know, like the Herekino, Rotaia, Omahuta up north, Pirongia, the Hakarimatas and stuff, I just cannot believe that you guys go into the bloody forest and kill a beast and then haul the bloody thing out. How the hell do you do that?
Well, we just take the good bits.
Oh man, hey, well, it's been such a pleasure to see you here, and it's really cool. You just mentioned that you know of Mary from Waipu.
Yes,
who put me up, my trail angel in Waipu.
Yeah, we've got a mutual friend. Yeah, and Albie is his name.
Oh, very cool. Hey, but John, you're about to set off, so please leave big footprints. I tell you, on this journey, I have been ever grateful for those who have come before me, because the tracks, when you can follow a track, boy, that's nice, eh? But you sound like you're a map and compass man too.
Oh yeah, a bit of that, bit of off trail, but not today. I'll just be heading for some warmth, I think.
Good to meet you, man.
Pretty wet and cold out here today.
Oh, I'm going inside for a rest and have a feed, and then I'll get wrapped up and head into it again.
Best of luck.
Cheers, man. I've just had a feed at Waitawaiwai Hut. Saw John off, he's gone. I'm about to join him on the track. I reckon 5 to 7 hours. Good Lord. That means 6 to 7 o'clock at night. So a bit of a climb and then descent, but not the steep stuff like's just happened. I'm just, what took place this morning up there on Mount Crawford is going to take a while to sink in, I think. How close I came to not being here anymore. That was pretty full on stuff. Anyway, no use dwelling on it, because as I say, it's pouring down out there. I got to get going. And this will be the end of the North Island. 5.5, give myself 5.5 hours to finish the North Island. Woo! So there we have it. I'm out. I'm still alive. The North Island has been done. 1,700 kilometres. 1,300 to go in the South Island. Once again, thanks for tuning in. The long way home. Whew. See you next week.
The Long Way Home is produced by Bruce Hopkins and Justin Gregory. Subscribe to every episode of The Long Way Home podcast at radionz.co.nz/series. And while you're there, please rate us. That way more people get to hear these stories. If you go to the Long Way Home webpage at rnz.co.nz, you'll find an interactive map that follows Bruce as he walks Te Araroa. Bruce is also on Twitter at BruceHop, so get in touch if you've got tips, questions, or can offer him a bed, a meal, or just a hot shower along the way. You can also email him at thelongwayhome@radionz.co.nz. The Long Way Home. Whenua whakapapa whānau. Follow us.